Welcome back to episode 2 of the Red Room, people. You are in the right room because this is the Red Room. And we know the color red, is for Liverpool FC, not for any shabby other, scabby other club. When you think red, you think Liverpool. And when you think Liverpool fan-related media, you think Red Room. Not quite, but we'll get there one day. Hope you're all good. Hope everyone is happy, excited. Are you nervous? We haven't seen Kerkez. I've seen hashtags, where's Kerkez? Can everyone calm the F down? We can't swear in the opening few minutes of a YouTube video, so I'm not going to swear. But guys, thank you very much for the love and support. Over 230 of you already camped in here before we even mentioned Wirtz. Imagine when we've mentioned Wirtz. Stocks will rise. As you can see, lineup is slightly changed. I'm slot. I believe in my squad. I think I can go back to back. Welcome, Ben Dubai. We got 2 Bens, so we're going to call Ben BLFC. If you don't know, go and check out. They've just started a new podcast, new YouTube channel. I'm going to try to put it in the description as well. Ben, how are we, lad?
Yeah, good, mate. Good time to be a red, isn't it? See you mentioning about people saying, where's Kerkez? Our fan base are like no other, mate, aren't they?
It's just like no.
Laughing. But yeah, all good, mate. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Thanks for joining us. I know it's a bit late out in Dubai, but you're a top lad. And make sure you check out his Twitter handle. Make sure you go and follow him, and make sure you go and check out his YouTube channel that he's starting. You know, we try to help each other out as much as we can in this community, LFC community, and we especially like helping out good lads. And you ain't gonna get a better lad than Ben. So make sure you guys check him out. And of course, I've got Ben. Ben's making his debut in the Red Room as well. Ben, how are we?
Yeah, I think I did the first one. I think this might be the third one. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm not anywhere as exciting as Ben Dubai right now. I'm stuck in the UK, obviously, but yeah, I'm all good, bro. Liverpool making moves off the pitch very shortly. I think it's in about 4 weeks we'll be able to see these guys on the pitch. So time slowly ticking by, but yeah, we'll get there.
100%. People, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. You already know the rules and regulations. That's all we ask for. Big up everyone. Big up from Copenhagen. Let us know where you're watching from. Lars Harsberg. Hopefully I've said that. What a name. That's a fantastic name. Am I going to offend someone if I say that's a proper darts player's name? Now, what do I mean by that? I don't know. Right? So, right? Do you play darts, Lars? Let me know if you play darts. Because if you do, I'm a winner. But thank you for joining us. Isak is joining. Redmen Goal says with a Stefan Bajcetic picture. I think a couple of you lot know what I think of Stefan Bajcetic. But listen, as long as he's associated with Liverpool, he'll have my utmost support. Where is Kerkez? There's the first where is Kerkez of the night. I mean, you know, it's just a matter of time people start saying, where is Kerkez? I told you, lads. Kerkez is waiting for his dad's medical. It's not his medical. He's waiting for his dad's medical to get the results. Like, his dad is one eager beaver. But we'll get onto that. We'll touch onto that. Scousmo's in the building as well. Fresh. You know what? You could easily be young Ryan Gravenberch.
Bro, in so many different names. Gravenberch. I've heard Isaac recently. I used to
we've got Isaac.
Yeah,
lads.
He's finally in the Liverpool shirt. There he is.
He's already in the
Liverpool shirt.
Him. Nah, I hear all sorts, honestly. When it was the parade, honestly, so many people came up to me and I'm like, oh, it's Gravenberch, what are you doing here? I was like, Gravenberch. Look at me. Like, look at the states of me. I'm basically very overweight. How could I look like Gravenberch? Yeah. It's good to be here. Good to be back on the Red Room. Good to be with the boys to talk about the best football club in the world. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Standard procedure. Close to 800 of you guys in here. If you haven't liked, what are you waiting for? If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's a shit Scouse accent. Ben, you got to teach me Scouse.
I
was wondering what that was then.
Oh, I'm a flop, man. I'm shit. All right, I'm shit.
Grizz, come on.
All right, I'm shit. I'm better than that normally. Maybe it's nerves, man. Maybe it's nerves. Welshmo's in the building as well. You said hello to Scousemo. We can say hello to Welshmo. Welshmo, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone here. Smash the like button, guys. You know what to do. Yeah, just excited. Second time on here now, and let's get this show going. Let's talk Liverpool and all things Reds.
And look, Lars says he does play darts. I told you.
Wow,
I don't
great
muck
shot
about,
from you,
man.
Grizz.
That is an ultimate dart player's name, Lars Harsberg.
It's got that Carlsberg, probably the best name in the world, feel to it.
That's it, man. 100%. What information? Thanks, Grizz, for all the information. Please don't believe my tweet, guys. I was joking, for fuck's sake. Have a sense of humor about it, people, man. Bloody hell, man. Good evening. Oh, You'll Never Walk Alone Foodies in the building. Amazing work he does as well. Check out his Instagram, man. Ben, gonna come to you first. Dubai, Ben. Let's get serious. Liverpool have been serious from the start of this window, haven't they, Ben? Me and you had a little conversation on Twitter where you was really bullish about this window. You said, look, we really need to make a statement. We really need to make a marquee signing. That was the one. We need to go out and make a marquee signing and make a statement in this window because we've won the league. We're on top. Let's fucking capitalize for once. We've started off because this phases, isn't it? Right? We'll discuss the phases, right? But the first phase has been immaculate.
Yeah, they've caused pressure to do the sides. Now, certainly Arsenal, I'd be worried if I was them. You know what I mean? I think with regards to what we talked about, over the years, we didn't capitalise properly, did we? And when we did, after we won the league, what was it, Thiago and Jota came in, didn't start well this season, did it, with Van Dijk's injury, and then Thiago went out. So, but I think Liverpool now, what they've done is this summer, they've just improved the starting 11 straight away. And the players that drop out are going into the bench and automatically improves them. People are worried about Liverpool. Simple as that. And I don't know what to say to the players at the minute, mate, because none of them seem to want to go to any other club. And long may it continue. I think it will continue. And as we move through the phases, Liverpool probably feel like they can relax a little bit now and just really focus on the big signings down the middle. But yeah, I'm excited, mate. And I think back-to-back for the Reds.
Back-to-back to the Reds. Ben?
Who's going to stop them, Chris? Who's going to stop them?
Yeah, back-to-back titles. I mean, look, we're making the right moves. And again, we've been left not stranded, disappointed, frustrated in the past windows, haven't we? We've had that one mega window when we put 4 midfielders in recently. But even that was kind of forced upon us because the 4 midfielders that left, right? Otherwise, we're very, what's the word? Economical, risk averse in the transfer market. But
just did enough, didn't we?
But if you think about it and analyze it, none of these 3 signings through the door are a risk, or are they, Ben?
No, I think the best thing about Liverpool at the minute is they're getting the top targets over the line. You look at the 3 players. I know they brought that young keeper in, but the 3 players they brought in, 2 of them are City's top targets. So what does that tell you? I think they've put a bit of pressure on the likes of Arsenal now because we've got down to the nitty-gritty part where we can focus now fully on a number 9 in the latter stages of the window. And I think it's going to cause a bit of a ripple effect through Arsenal where the fans are going to get on the backs. Because loads of Arsenal fans. If I was one of them now, I'd be shitting myself looking at Liverpool.
Simple, Ben. How are we? I mean, same question to you. None of those 3 signings are really risky, are they? In this in the grand scheme of things. Normally, we're unsure, aren't we, about signings? Was it Barry Hunter's book? Whose book was it where it said usually all transfers are 50-50 ultimately, like whether they're successful or failures? Where are you with these 3 that we brought in so far? Kerkez, Wirtz, and Frimpong.
I think obviously the Wirtz one is in a category of its own because I feel like he was just one that I don't think any of us would have seen coming at the start of the window. I mean, I remember talking to my friends and I wanted Xavi Simons at the start of the window. I thought he'd be a really good addition for us in the 10. He can play on the left. I think he can play as a false 9 as well. I thought he'd have been a really good signing for 50, 60 million. So I'd have been more than happy with that. But to get Wirtz, the best number 10 in the world, a player that every other club wants. And by the way, we have been rejected plenty of times over the last 2-3 seasons. So to get him and to sort of come full cycle where these players want to come to here, like you alluded to, Grizz. It's the best feeling in the world, and Kerkez is the one for me that I wanted from day one, to be honest. Like when we all sort of realised, as much as we love Andy Robertson, you know, there's times last season where I was just watching him and I'm thinking, it's actually quite sad because this isn't the Robbo that we know. This isn't the Robbo that, you know, we'll tell our kids and grandkids
we fell in love with, for
exactly.
nearly the best part of a decade. Yeah.
You'll never get me saying a bad word about him. Some people are horrible with the things they say, but the reality is we needed to change it up. So at the time, people were saying 8 Nuri, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy, but I was saying Kerkez for me from day one. He's like,
me and you disagreed on that. I know you told me straight. You said, "Listen, Kerkez is much better." Grizz, shut up, and I shut up.
No, I just see a lot of Robbo in him. I honestly do. I think he's probably better technically than Robbo with, you know, the intricate stuff. But I just feel like that bombing up and down, relentless energy for 90 minutes is literally what Robbo was really good at. So I just see that. And then Frimpong, it's not a risk, but I know we spoke a little bit off camera. There's a couple things that people might not be sold on just yet. I think we'll have to wait with that one to see how he actually fits in and how we play with him. Is he still going to go with Bradley? Because we don't know. Bradley might still be very much in his plans. But I feel like I would have been more concerned about Frimpong if we hadn't bought in Wirtz, because as much as we don't like Trent, and we won't say good things about Trent anymore on these streams, the creative side of things had to be addressed if we're going to get another right back, because there is no right back that can play like him. So to get those 3 in, I feel like, yeah, it's a very good start to the window. And we're seeing reports now that we've still got so much money to spend if we need to. We can spend another 200 million, I think, and be fine in PSR. So your life's good, man. We're champions. We're acting like champions. And as Ben Dubai said, I think we're going to carry on being champions in the next 12 months. So, yeah, it's good, man.
Scousman, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask you, because it's something that got me thinking as well, what Ben just said about Frimpong and the Bradley situation. Yeah. Hand on heart, guys, and I'll ask all of you guys, right? First game of the season, Bournemouth at home, Bournemouth at home. As things stand, who starts at right back? Scousman first.
Honestly, I personally believe that it's going to be Bradley who starts the season for us. I don't think Frimpong's going to be in the team straight away. It depends on preseason. We'll have to see how it works out in preseason, with the preseason games and even the Community Shield. We'll see how it works out. But from my mind right now, looking at it, I still feel like Bradley might start. Like Bradley was Slot's go-to player at right back was Bradley towards the end of the season, when we realized Trent obviously he wasn't staying and he's leaving. He's confirmed he's gone. Bradley was in the team. So Bradley does know how to play in the slot system. So maybe it's the safe bet to start with Bradley. With Frimpong, he seems like a very exciting player. But I've still got some reservations in regards to defensively. Like, how good is he defensively? And like, I'm not saying like Bradley's amazing defensively, because he's not, but he's still a good defender. Frimpong, I'm not too sure how he is defensively. I don't think he's the best, and majority of the time he's been at Leverkusen, he's been playing as a wing back. So maybe bleed him into the team. We've seen Liverpool do this in the past, obviously with a different manager, bleeding players into the team slowly, especially when you've got a player of Bradley's quality. Because I feel like we're kind of writing off Bradley in a way, because Bradley is a very good player. Bradley is really, really good to play right back. We've seen him play there a few times for us, and he is a good player. And I'm gonna love that competition between the two players for right back. Who's gonna be the starter in a couple of weeks, couple of months? They can push each other on. Frimpong can push Bradley on, etc. So yeah, me personally, I think the beginning of the season it'll be Bradley that starts.
Fair enough. This is Ben Dubai's channel, guys. Make sure you're checking out Red or Alive TV. Make sure you go over and give them a subscribe, and make sure you put the notification bell on, so when they go live, you already know. Welshmo, same question to you. What's Slot going to do, and would you do anything different? And based on that, I'll ask you the next question, because the next question depends what your answer is.
Similar to Scousmo, I think he's going to go with Bradley first, because Frimpong probably needs a good preseason, and depending on how that goes, will determine what Slot wants to do. But as it stands now, to answer your question, I think he's going to go with Bradley. that's if Bradley doesn't pick up any injuries, because he's known to, have Jota-ritis sometimes and picks up quite a few injuries. So, if he's injury free, I think he goes Bradley first.
And my follow-up question to that was, is that the right call? Is that what you think should happen as well? Or are you like, nah, let's do it, man. We've got a new signing. Let's go and see what it's about. Let's Bournemouth at home. Where are you?
I would actually think it is the right thing. I'll bleed in Frimpong slowly. And, I think the last time we were on the stream, a lot of people on the chat were worried about that. We're bringing in too many players to the first team, in one hit. So, and I kind of disagreed to it. I said, we've got the spine of the team is still there from last year. And I think we need to kind of keep most of that as possible and then drop in those superstars as we go along. So I think, defense wins leagues, if we can start off solid with a solid back four, even a three, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, if he gets Guéhi, then there's an argument to be had that we might play 3-5-2. But I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. But I think Bradley will start in a 4-3-3 formation.
My first burner has activated. I've got about 20 burners in there, so you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you, Jill, if you're real. And if you're not, I'll take it. Real Jill. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't lose it, Grizz. You don't lose it.
Working backwards. Simple, Ben. I'm not going to ask you about Frimpong. Well, you can answer it in one word. I'm going to ask you about the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play Let's play a game of assumptions and say Robbo decides to stay.
Okay.
If Robertson decides to stay, and they both have solid pre-seasons, who's starting left back for Slot in the first game of the season?
That one's very tough. I think that one's a toss of a coin. I feel like the other thing you could look at for this Bournemouth at home game is they're getting raided. They've already lost Hoyson. They've obviously lost the left back. They're probably going to lose a couple other players. So it could be a relatively, and I say this like touchwood, a relatively straightforward game, because it never is. But it could be. So Slot could be looking at this thinking, you know what? Maybe throw him in the deep end. Like, what's the worst that can happen? It's at home. It's a Friday night as well, isn't it? So it's going to be really good vibe at Anfield. It's going to be party atmosphere. The champions are back for the first game. I would like, look, if Robbo stays, I've always said he will be number one, but that was based on Tsimikas staying. Now, if Kerkez and Robertson are the two and Tsimikas is the one that goes, again, I think like Welshmo said, the competition for the fullback position would be incredible.
Mad.
But I still think with that one, he probably would go with Kerkez, because I think he's the one. I'm not saying Frimpong isn't, but I think Kerkez is the one that, they've been looking at for a long time, and they've been trying to think, this is the long-term vision for that spot. I think Kerkez will be thrown straight into, regardless of what happens.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Goodbye, Ben. I'm going to ask you probably the easiest one, but I don't know. It might not be as easy. Let's see what everyone thinks. Wirtz, does he start? Whose place is he likely to take, in your opinion? And where does he play? Sorry, mate. I've got to ask you the hardest question and toughest question, but you're making your debut.
It's all right. I think that's the easiest one to call, because he's taking Gravenberch's space, isn't he? Because he's suspended.
Ooh. Oh, you cheeky sod. You cheeky sod. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. You know what I mean. Switch it up. Imagine Gravenberch wasn't suspended, right?
I would be taking Dom's place. No two ways around it, I think. Because obviously the opposition is a lesser opposition. He may as well throw all three of them in. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool are going to have the ball, so you're going to go with the ones who are the best attacking players, aren't you? Let's make no mistake about it. I can understand like the Bradley chat people were saying, but Frimpong's a better attacker, for instance, at right back. Do you know what I mean? So Liverpool have got to put the foot on the throat. But yeah, Wirtz, you can't spend all that money, Grizz, and have him sat on the bench, can you? He's got to play. The sooner he plays, the sooner he starts getting stuck in more, and you want him to play every game pretty much, don't you? Especially in the league. So, yeah, first game will be obviously taking Gravenberch's space, but it's interesting to see what actually unfolds with Tom.
Position wise, were you saying like basically like for like in Dom, and maybe I don't know, or is there any chance of him playing as a false nine? There's been noise about false nine, turning him into a Bobby type player for us. Where are you with that?
I think you want him just on the edge of the box, don't you, in the number 10 proper position. You've got to start getting him, finding them gaps. If he plays the false nine, then he's not being able to do that sort of as much. Do you know what I mean? So I think he'd be playing in that 4-2-3-1 down the middle behind the striker.
Let's
is Gavin Birch's is he suspended for the Community Shield, or does that not count? Someone was asking it in the chat.
Does he miss 3 games, or is it just 1? Because he got a straight red, did he? Or was it 2 yellows?
Oh, I can't remember now.
No, he was on a yellow, but I think he just gave him a straight red.
He gave him a straight red.
Yeah, but does anybody know if that's 3 games or 1? No, I'm sure it's 1 game.
Violent conduct, isn't it? It wasn't violent conduct.
I'm sure it's 1 game only.
I think it's one.
2 more. I'm going to ask you the Wirtz question, because that's, I think, pardon the pun, the $1 million, or I should say the $116 million question. All right, that is the one, isn't it? Because Kerkez, I agree with Ben Dubois. I think both fullbacks will be thrown in.
Yeah, okay.
I think they'll start. Okay, I'm not sure if it's the right thing or not. I don't know. I think Kerkez definitely starts.
Yeah,
and I think probably Frimpong starts. But Wirtz, I'm not too worried about whether he starts on thing, because as Ben Dubois says, Gravenberch is out, so probably Wirtz comes in straight away. I don't think he's going to retain Jones instead of Gravenberch. But where do you see the vision of Wirtz long term in going into this season? Where do you see him playing? Honestly, now that you've done your studying of him.
Honestly, Grizz, I've been scratching my head over this since the day we were even linked.
Why?
Because Wirtz has to play. Obviously, he's our record.
Okay.
In my opinion, you can't drop Szoboszlai either. I feel Szoboszlai is integral to this team. And I don't know if you can recall, a couple of months ago, we had a bit of a discussion about like Szoboszlai and his lack of creativity. And that I was calling now for maybe we need to purchase a creative player in that position. For the life, we did not expect it to be Wirtz. I thought Wirtz was guaranteed to be going either Bayern Munich or Man City. Didn't even think about it. Like, as the lads were mentioning before, we don't usually go for these type of players. We usually go for like that rough diamond that we make sparkle and shine. So I was never expected it to be Wirtz. But now that Wirtz is coming in, I've always wanted a fourth Szoboszlai is better in a more of a deeper role, maybe in like an 8, something like that. Not in like the deep 6 position where Gravenberch plays, but in the 8. But his legs are vital to this team. And like, he's literally, in my personal opinion, he's one of the more undroppable players in this team. You can't drop him, but then at the same time, you can't drop McAllister and you can't drop Gravenberch. All 3 of them, in my opinion, are starters. Which
they walked. Hold on, let me rephrase. That midfield walked us the league, so we have to show respect.
Exactly.
We might like shiny new toys. We might like world record players coming into our team and all that. I get it. But put some respect on those 3 players' names.
That's what I'm saying, Grizz. Like, okay, so Szoboszlai might lack in creativity wise. He is lacking in that department. However, he is so vitally important to this Liverpool football. Like, especially now that we've got Frimpong, who's going to be bombing up and down that right hand side. You're going to need Szoboszlai's legs to cover. You're just going to need that naturally. And of course, with McAllister as well, like, he's a sensational player, but he doesn't really cover that much ground. And now if you've got Wirtz and McAllister in midfield with Gravenberch, how much ground they're covering. I know Wirtz, in terms of his pressing, he's an absolute monster. So this is the conundrum that we've got. In my opinion, all 3 of those midfielders that won us the league last season are undroppable. But then on top of that, Florian Wirtz, we've signed him. He's our record signing. And in my opinion, you can't just push him out to the left wing or make him a false 9. He needs to be in that 10. He needs to be in his position centrally to create, score goals and produce magic. Now that especially we've lost that creative output in Trent from right back, he's going to be our main creative hub. So now it's literally, I've been scratching my head for months now, trying to figure out where is he going to play.
It's exciting though, isn't it?
Exciting. And this is my point that I was going to raise. Last season with Onslaught, one thing that we realized is that he is just a tactical genius. Each game, he's got a different tweak. He's going to play different ways. I remember that Manchester City game when we beat them at home 2-0. Honest to God, I think we played 6 different styles. Every 10, 15 minutes, we were changing into deep block, and then we was heavily aggressive. We were playing so many different ways. But now, we were so unpredictable last season. Imagine how unpredictable we are going to be this season. Like, we don't know who our striker's going to be. We don't know whether Szoboszlai and Wirtz are going to play in the 10 or who's going to play left wing, if it's going to be Frimpong or Kerkez, Frimpong or Bradley at right back. Honestly, there's so many question marks in my mind, but I love that. I love that unpredictability because we don't want to be rigid. In my opinion, Arsenal, for example, one of our main competitors, in my opinion, they're very rigid. They're very structured. You know exactly what they're going to do. You know how they're going to play. It's going to go out to Saka. It's going to go out to Martinelli. They're going to come back around. It's going to be like a U shape outside the box until they find that cross to the far box. And I'm just your average football fan. I'm not a tactical in any shape or form, but I already know how Arsenal are going to play. Not one of us can comfortably sit here right now and tell me how Liverpool are going to play next season. And that is absolutely spectacular. We're going to see a glimpse of it in the preseason, but no manager in the Premier League, they probably ask them the same questions. Where's Kerkez going to play? Szoboszlai can't be dropped. Is Diaz going to be playing the false 9? Or is he going to play left wing? But you can't drop Gakpo. Gakpo is instrumental from the left wing. Is Salah going to be more of an inside forward? Is he going to touch the line more often? Is Frimpong going to come in as like an up and down right back? There's so many questions. But that is beautiful. I love that. I love that unpredictability. And I can't wait to see how it all pans out.
Welshmo is true, isn't it? Unpredictability is the name of the game. We don't want to be predictable. Do you remember even under Rafa, we definitely became predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were unpredictable. And even under Klopp.
Even under Klopp,
we knew the 11. You know, we knew the way we're going to do it. We were just so good and relentless. We'd break you down eventually, you know, one way or the other. But with Slot, I think he's formulating a squad where it's based on unpredictability, flexibility. Players can play in any position. Look at the players that we've mentioned and how many positions they can play. Bar Salah, right? Pretty much all of them can play anywhere, right? Your 3 in midfield can play in any of the 8, 6, or 10 roles, okay? Because even Gravenberch, guys, let's not forget, Gravenberch can play as a 10 as well. I know he's the deepest, but there's been many occasions where he's been the most furthest forward attacking midfielder for Ajax. So we've got loads of changes. We've got everything else. But again, Wirtz, Welshmo, Wirtz is the name on everyone's lips, and of course, rightly so, about position-wise. Have you done any research on him and how he's been performing for Leverkusen? And obviously, he's alluded to Slot having a conversation with him. And he said, once Slot spoke to me, I knew where I want to be. What do you think that conversation sounded like? Because to me, it sounds like Pep wanted to do his usual, no. You play where I play, you run when I run, you walk when I walk, you know, whatever, one of those ones, you know, Pep, right? And Bayern Munich, I don't think could offer him a guaranteed. Bayern Munich think they're above everything else and everyone else. I think they were a bit arrogant towards him. What kind of pitch do you think Slot made with him?
You're my number 10. Simple as. 10? Yeah. I mean, if you look at a lot of people have been researching Wirtz as soon as we found out we were getting linked with him and you know, watching him clips and all sorts. If you look at his heat map with Leverkusen, he was predominantly on the left. You know, he comes in from the left and cuts in inside. I think that was part of what Xavi Alonso wanted him to do. But I think his natural position where he plays for Germany, if Musiala's not there, is as a 10. I think that's what sold the project to him. Slot saying, look, you're going to be my number 10. You're going to have people like Grav and Mac behind you. You're going to have attackers like Isak we're going to try and get, and you know, Mo and so forth. Like, and if you're a number 10, you're thinking, wow, I got all these players around me. Yeah, sign me up. I got Mo to my right. I got, you know, Diaz or Gakpo to my left. I got Isak in front of me. Oh yeah, I'm going to get loads of assists. And I've got 4 protectors, Ibu, Verge, Graven, and Mac behind me. So it gives me a bit of freedom. So I think, you know, his natural position is a 10. I think he wants to play as a 10. But I think in games you'll see him drift to the left sometimes because that's just natural for him, you know. He likes to cut inside a lot. But primarily from a Liverpool perspective, I think he's going to be a 10. I think first game of the season, and this is a beautiful thing, the same like Mo said, even last year with Slot, 90% of the team we could probably predict. Now we've got options, and we can actually say to ourselves, depending who we're up against will determine what midfield we're going to pick. Now, let's just focus on Bournemouth for the first game. Let's look at their midfield. They've got people like, I would imagine, like Lewis Cook, Alex Scott, Ryan Christie, Tavernier. No big names, but hard workers. Okay, so what would Slot do to counteract that? I think starting Maka, Dom, and Wirtz is enough to counteract that. Whereas if you go and play another midfielder of a top 6 side, then maybe there'll be a few changes. So I think depending on the opposition will determine what kind of midfield we set up, which is great. We got options, and I love the fact we got options. We looked burnt out during the last 4 or 5 games of the season. All right, we won the league and we were celebrating, but we also looked burnt out. A lot of those first 11 players didn't get rotated much, because Slot didn't trust the bench he had. Now he's addressing that bench. Now he's getting rid of players and getting players he wants in.
This is exactly segues perfectly, Dubai Ben, into my next segment, which is outgoings, because we've seen the incomings, and I think we all agree and we all kind of know that we're going to relax the ball with the incomings now and assess the market and see what's happening, right? And now we're going to get rid of this. Ben, is it fair to say we're going to get rid of the players that he didn't really trust? They were there, he used them sporadically, and I'm talking the likes of, and I know me and you have had loads of conversations about Kwanzaa, Elliot, Tsimikas, Kelleher, we know is already gone. Possibly Jota. So it's all about outgoings now, Ben. Let's start off with the Kwanzaa. I know your opinion, but let the masses know. Where are you with the fee, with the buyback, and is it the right call?
Yeah, it definitely is the right call. It's also the right call for him. He's got to be playing, hasn't he? He's a young lad. He needs to be playing consistent. It looks like he's going in there as a starter. I'm not a big fan of him because you know my thoughts on him. I've said it for a while. He makes far too many mistakes, and they were always going to continue with the player that's not playing regular football at Liverpool Football Club. And look, he may be good enough, but he currently isn't good enough for Liverpool. It's as simple as that. To be a Liverpool centre half, you've got to be top draw. So it is a good move for him. The price is good as well, and the fact they've got a buyback. It's not to say we're going to go there, but if they are going to go there, he must have done some serious business for Leverkusen. Do you know what I mean? So what is it? I can't think. What 15%?
Million.
Yeah. So there you go. But if they're going to go and do that, then he must have been doing some serious stuff, and maybe it is the player that they thought they had on the hands. And don't be surprised to see something like that for like Harvey Elliott. Do you know what I mean? It's the right call, and good luck to him. But for me, he's not good enough for Liverpool right now.
We'll get on to the possible replacements we think should be coming in. Simple Ben, was you a Kwanzaa fan? You okay with the situation? I was a fan. I think he'll come good. I think he's young, but I also understand that at this level, we can't have projects. So I was a bit conflicted about it. Where are you?
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I just feel like I think it's the United game, it's just completely shot. And I think with him and a lot of our youngsters, actually, I think Klopp was not saying that Slot isn't, but because he literally saw these guys come through, he had them pre-season tours when they were kids and stuff like that. He was like their guy, like their dad sort of thing at the club. And I think as soon as Klopp went, I'm not saying that Slot doesn't rate our youngsters, but I feel like the writing was on the wall for a lot of them. If there was money to be made, then that was it. We saw straight away they were making quick fire sales for a lot of our young players, and people were like, "What the heck's going on? We're not going to have an academy if we carry on doing this." But yeah, listen, the money I think was okay. I feel like we probably could have gotten more, but we've got a good buyback clause in him. So if he does go out there and smash it, we can get him back. I'm not sure he would want to come back though if he's been sold, but that'll be in his hands. I always thought with Kwanzaa, I'd be okay with him being third or fourth choice. I think when it comes to him and our third choice centre back in general, obviously we know the issues that Konate's had in the past. We know Virgil, as good as he is, he's not the spring chicken Virgil when he was 27, 28. You're probably going to have to play a lot more games being Liverpool's third choice centre back than other clubs' third choice centre back. So I just feel like maybe there's something in his game that didn't align with what Slot wants. His technical ability is not the best and stuff like that. He's not that quick of a centre back. I just feel like it was one of them where he's not really in his plans. The money was there. Kwanzaa probably wants to play football. It's sort of best for all parties. Similar thing with Harvey, which I'm sure we'll get onto as well. But yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he smashes it. It's a good club to go to. Ten Hog's the gaff, so I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out. But yeah, good luck to him, man.
He's mentioned the next player, Scousemo. Harvey Elliott. Decision has to be made from the club, from the player, his family. We spoke about positions and roles for players. To me, it seems like there just wasn't a role for Harvey Elliott in a slot team and a system. I like Harvey. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's got the best attitude in the world. He loves the club, all of that. I understand and I get it. Again, I'm just in love with all the Liverpool players, man. You know me. I love my boys, man. Like, they brought us the title, man. And Harvey loves Liverpool as much as we love Liverpool. But right, cool or no, keep him in the squad.
Honestly, I love Harvey Elliott. You know I love Harvey Elliott, but everything that you just said there is spot on, honestly. Like, even last season, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm mistaken, but Slot came out last season and said, well, it's difficult for Harvey to get minutes. There's Szoboszlai in that position. There's Salah on the wing. It's hard for him to get minutes, and now it's just going to get a lot tougher for him with Wirtz coming in. And even maybe potentially Frimpong could be playing right wing some games. We might see that happen when Salah's not available, when he goes to AFCON, for example. So he's gone down on the pecking list of the squad even more. And I personally think Elliott is a very talented football player. Maybe he's not the fastest, and maybe that's why he didn't play a lot of games for us last season. But I think it makes sense for him. It makes sense for the club. It makes sense for all parties. I think we'll get a good fee for him as well. I think he's been... Yeah, but hasn't there been some reports that it's like 45 mil to Brighton?
Let's just say, is that okay?
Yeah. That's a good fee, to be honest. But then again, on the flip side, if Elanga had just got Newcastle got a bid rejected for Elanga, and I think it was like 50 million. Maybe in about the same region. I'm not going to go into debates on who's the better player, Elanga or Elliott, because they're different. Elanga's just a speed demon. I'll be gutted when Elliott goes, because I really, really like him. His attitude's phenomenal. He seems like a good lad. He's a good football player when he's got the ball at his feet. He'll bleed for the club. He'll die for the club. He's a Liverpool fan through and through. Like, there's so many things to like about Elliott, but it makes sense for him to get regular game time, go to Brighton, be a starter there. And it makes sense for Liverpool as well. Cash in, get a good fee for him. It just makes sense for all parties, honestly. He wasn't getting minutes last season. With Wirtz coming in now, is he going to get any minutes at all? So he's 21, he's 22. Let him go.
Oh, this is the sad part, when you're letting go of absolute, not legends, but, like anyone who plays for Liverpool, tries his heart out, has a good attitude and manages to bloody win you the league. In my opinion, man, has to be loved
as well. I don't know why, but one of my favorite moments from last season, I don't know why this is a moment that I remember so much, but last season when we played City at home and we were beating them 2-0, and then Elliott came off the bench. He was out injured for like 3-4 months. I don't know why I seem to recall that moment, because I remember just thinking, we're top of the league, we just smashed City, we just smashed Real Madrid, and we've got Harvey Elliott coming back into the squad. Like, that's how much I actually rate Harvey Elliott and how much I respect the lad, and I'm just thinking, wow, what a time to be alive. So I'm going to be really gutted when he goes, but as I said, it just makes sense.
I think we all going to agree on the Simicast one. So I'm not going to waste too much time on the Simicast unless there is anybody who wants to defend him. Hold your hands high now so I can see you. Okay. No, because you are mad like that. You do say something.
Yeah, I will say some unexpected things.
Yeah, I know you. I like you. I know you like to stir the pot sometimes. Welshmo, Chiesa and Nunes, we're going to count as one. And I think we're all going to agree. I think Chiesa and Nunes, is there any hands up for Chiesa and Nunes' case to stay or give another season? No. Okay.
No.
Right. Then I'm going to ask you the question then of Gakpo and Diaz, surprisingly to maybe a lot of people, have been linked away. Is there danger of one of them going? And are you okay with one of them going? And if so, how much? Is there a price that you talk? Because Gakpo has been linked with Bayern, Diaz has been linked with Barcelona and Saudi clubs, I think only. Now, I can't see Barca raising the funds. I mean, depending on how much you want for Diaz, actually, if you rate him.
Getting Nico Williams as well, aren't they now?
Yeah.
There you go. So Diaz and Gakpo, or are you keeping both?
I'm keeping both. And like, if out of the two players, if there's one going to be gone, it's more likely to be Diaz than it is going to be Gakpo. Because obviously Diaz put posts out sounding like he's leaving. He's got 2 years left in his contract. He's even come out and said, I'm happy to stay in and see my 2 years out, which I guess is a win-win for Liverpool in a way, because we still get to keep a great player who chipped in 15, 16 league goals last year and can play false nine as well if need be. But he's been twerking for Barcelona since he signed for us. He wants to play there. But the thing is, Barcelona is skint and they can barely activate Nico Williams' clause at the moment. So where he's going to end up, I don't know. I mean, Saudi might come knocking, but is he going to be, tempted?
Will he want to go there at this stage of his career? Will he want to go there, guys?
Like, if he can't get his dream move to Barca or to Spain, he might go and get paid, and set up some generational wealth for his family. He's 28 years old. He might go do 2-3 years there and try and find his way back to Spain. But I think it's a wrong move for him. I think he's holding out for Spain. Whether that comes, I don't know, because Barcelona are just, Barcelona. I feel like they've rope-a-doped him. They've reeled him in, saying, "Yeah, we want you, we want you, we want you." Oh, Nico Williams, there you go, mate. And Diaz is kind of left out in a lurch now. But it's from our situation. If they both stay, win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah, definitely. And if one of them goes, do we get a replacement? Is Malik Fofana's been linked, and I'd love to get someone like him. There's rumours that Lyon are even more financial trouble now, or getting relegated. So there could be another door opening there. So it's going to be a domino effect. If that left-hand side, if someone does go, there's going to be a domino effect in play. And I think we're lining up someone like Fofana just in case that does, come to fruition. But to answer your question, I'd love to keep both of them. Both of them scored 15, 16 goals a season last year. Both came in. Gakpo for me is more of a rhythm player. He needs to get on a run, and when he hits that run, he hits that run. Diaz, the experiment false nine didn't work for me personally, but it's an option, He scored most of his goals when he was out on the left. Let's not forget that. He didn't score many when he was on the false line. But there's an option there, and an option that could be utilised when Mo is in AFCON. So there's pros and cons, and I would personally keep both of them.
Danino says, big up the panel. We need to stop with the sentiments. Obviously, Harvey don't fit slots plan. Sell it, make a profit, reinforce the squad. Ben Dubai, I'm going to come to you with the sentimental side of things and sort of decisions that need to be made now. Before we talk about the replacements of the players that we've all turfed, the Red Room has ruled the roost. We have decided who's going and who's staying, and we'll discuss who we should bring in. But what I want to ask you now is the tough question, I think, or it might be easy for you, actually. Knowing you, it'll be piss easy for you. Is there a situation that we need to resolve with Ibu Konate? Especially after the Trent debacle. Where you at? What would you do? How would you deal with it if you're Richard Hughes?
There's a tough one, isn't
Yeah.
I suppose you have to take into consideration what he said as well. Don't be believing half the stuff out there, which is half the case for most of the stuff with the media, isn't it? People like to drive it. The fella that was talking about it, doesn't he write for The Sun and all that shit? Something like that. So
I think he used to, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but it's not a great position to be in again, is it? Let's be honest. He's if some of the fees banded about, he's a 60, 70 million centre half on his day, isn't he? If he's got a bigger contract.
Is there a fee that makes you talk and think about it, though?
Not really, but if someone comes with 60 million, I think Liverpool will be talking about it.
Really?
Definitely. Well, he's got 1 year left. If he's not willing to sign a deal, do you think they're going to let him go for another 8 million quid? It'd have to be something like that, wouldn't it? Because ultimately,
yeah. But
what can he do? What can he do? It's only so long you can go by taking someone's word, isn't it? And I think they've been led down the garden path by Trent too far.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. We know that. We discussed that to the same. Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, we're not going to.
Obviously, I'm not saying he's going to go, but I mean, there comes a time and a point where Liverpool have to make a stand and not look stupid. Do you know what I mean? And what do you do? Do you want to? How would people react if he goes for free in the summer next year? They're not going to be happy, are they? And just doesn't set a good precedent. You'll have other players thinking, well, maybe that is the way to get out. And it's people have got to start putting the stance together and not making real.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem.
Oh, sorry.
Check this out. Check this out. This is the problem, right? And I agree with everything you said, but there's a massive problem here. And and I've always said this: how do you sell a player when his heart and his agent and his people around him, just like Trent, is set on, and Mbappe, yeah, the biggest high-profile guy who saw his contract and went for the bread himself and his people around him. If Konate indicates or doesn't indicate, make any indication, but Liverpool can't take a risk, like you said, and get burnt twice in bloody 6 months or whatever it's going to be. What do you do then, Ben? It's World Cup season. Do you tell Konate, we're not going to play you, mate? I'm telling you that now if you stick around. But that's like you're not playing the second best centre-back in the Premier League.
He doesn't play though, Chris. He ain't starting at the World Cup, is he? Because there's a few centre-halves that have been performing better than him for France. You know, it's as simple as that. The problem is the manager showed that he will play players whose contracts are low. Do you know what I mean?
Problem, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he stays personally, because I just look at our project and look at Real Madrid. Play them 7 days a week. I think Liverpool beat the majority of the time at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I think we look a far better proposition than them. I do get the attraction. But I think if Liverpool were considering making a call on selling him, I think they'd be looking more towards PSG than Real Madrid.
That's his dream club, isn't it? That's the one he said.
He's a Brazilian, isn't he? So
that's what I mean. He wants to go and captain PSG. I'd have no. If he said, "Look, I want to go this summer," then Liverpool would probably make it work because they won't want to be banned, like I said. So they're going to be difficult when it comes to Real Madrid because look at that parrot joking around saying Liverpool are our friends. How we fuck? Do you know what I mean? Oh wait, do you know what I mean? You fool. But Liverpool probably would make it work if PSG came to the table. One, they'd get a good fee, and two, they won't look stupid. And I think they have to set a precedent because, you know, for instance, Real Madrid, every man and his dog knows they're half interested in McAllister, for instance. So there's a few things that Liverpool have to make a call on, and I think the Konate one is important for how they go forward.
Go on, Scousemo.
I was going to say, like, obviously, it's a difficult situation to be in. But let me just ask you guys a question, because in my personal opinion, I think Konate is the difference between us winning the Premier League and winning the Champions League next season. So if he was to go this summer for, say, circa 60, 70 million, next season, in my opinion, the team is weakened instantly. Whatever sense about again, the team is weakened. So our potential in the Champions League or a Premier League is significantly reduced. However, if you keep Konate in this team, even though he hasn't signed the contract, and he might leave on a free next season, and there's a risk of him leaving on a free next season.
No, if he don't sign the contract, he's definitely leaving on a free.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. But if we win a Premier League and the Champions League next season, is it worth us just keeping him and letting him go for the free next season? I'm asking.
Well, this was the thinking about Trent, though, wasn't it?
It was,
about the Nunes in December. Not December, January.
idea.
Bids for Nunes, bids for Trent, but we decided to keep hold of them because we wanted to get over the line. And
are we not overreacting a little bit? Like, I know.
I mean, I think we've all been stunk because this time last year we all assumed that Trent.
I think that's probably why we're overreacting a little bit, because all we've heard is Ibby first of all saying, "Don't believe everything you've read in the press." Then we've heard saying he's rejected.
Why didn't Trent do that?
Yeah. So, but then we've heard rumours that he's rejected his latest contract offer, which has caused a bit of panic within the fan base due to the Trent scenario. What I take out of that is they're actually talking. The club and player are actually talking. If he's rejected one offer, it doesn't mean that they've just gone to. They've been in dialogue already, which is a positive.
I remember the Paul Joyce, Liverpool and Konate are in talks, and
since October.
Stalemate. That was around a year ago. I know these things don't take. You know, they're not quick to get these things sorted, but it was a very long time ago.
And what he's asking for, let's break it down a bit. Like, you know, apparently we're led to believe what we're reading. He wants 200k a week. Now, bear in mind, we just sold a defender yesterday for 3 million, who got paid 10k less than Ibu, Nat Phillips.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Nat Phillips was on 55k and has been for the last 6 years for Liverpool. We sold him yesterday for 3 million. Ibu, who played all season, integral to winning many games, gets paid 10k more than him. So Ibu's on 65, 70k. I think, like Dubai Ben said, we're looking at a 60 million pound player here. You know, if we look at Premier League defenders last year, the season just gone, VVD was number 1. You probably put Gabriel second.
Yeah.
And Ibu's probably third, in my opinion. So if we're going to go out and buy a player to replace that, we're looking at 60 mil. Now, if we then go and buy a 60 million defender, you're looking at 150 to 200k wages anyway. So, in my opinion, if he's want 200k, I think we should just give it and sign him up. Like
Liverpool will give him that, mate. There's no two ways around it.
I don't think that's the issue. Yeah, it's just whether he wants it or not for me. And look, I agree with what you're saying, but I think we have been stung and we have been here before. And if you can't trust a local lad that's been there his entire life, really, like we are bound to think this way. What the PSG thing that was just talking about, I remember, I can't remember exactly when or what it was, but he has spoken in an interview before about captaining PSG and he could see himself there. You know, that would be his end goal. So if that chance comes to him now, he's what, 26? You know, you get one career, you get one chance at this. If that doesn't come again, they're the sort of things are probably going around in his mind right now. So, like Grizz says, if this isn't done and dusted by the end of this summer, then I think it's done.
PSG just signed up Zabani from Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Didn't they just sign Zabani? And they've got William Pacho as well, who looks.
They haven't signed him, but they're favourites, and they will probably.
Look, if this guy is not signing a contract, I don't care. Don't sell him. Keep him in the team.
Don't keep him.
He's the difference between us winning the Premier League or the Champions League. If we can keep him fit next season like we did this season, we've got a much greater chance of winning the Premier League or winning the Champions League, in my opinion. I don't care if we're going to lose out on that 60 mil. Let him go for the free next summer if he's not signing a contract. But then again, I'm just a fan. I'm not a businessman. So that's my perspective.
Two points left. We've got about 10 minutes to cover both of them. It's not enough time, but we'll try to get through it as quickly as we can. I'm going to come to Dubai Ben first. Assuming Konate stays, I think he's staying. I don't think he's going to go. So that means Kwanzaa's gone, sorry. So that still means we need a centre-back.
Is that just for this window, sorry, Grizz, or by staying, do you mean signing? Signing. Yeah. Marc Guéhi has been linked and liked. Situation with Palace, 1 year left on his contract. They're playing hardball. Steve Parish is a bloody good businessman, but he's in a similar situation like us with Konate, right? So it's a bit of gamesmanship everywhere you look. But difference being, Marc Guéhi has indicated he indicated last summer when we approached him. And you know how we do in these situations, you pull out old tweets that you get right. The ones you get wrong, you delete quickly. But now, Marc Guéhi said that he won't be extending. And I believe that's the reason why we didn't go for him last summer. We went for that Euro, didn't we? Or bust. We didn't go for anyone else. I knew we were going to come back for him. We have come back for him. What's the situation, in your opinion, on Guéhi? Are you happy with him? Are you solid enough? Does he rival Konate for starting berth? And how much would you go up to? And that's probably going to go to two of you, and then two of you are going to answer the next question.
No, I think he's a cracking centre-half. I think he's England's best centre-half, to be honest. I think he's very underappreciated. Just because players play for lesser clubs, for instance, doesn't mean they're not...
Braithwaite's the best. Braithwaite.
Yeah, but, you know, he may be available, but he's not available to us, is he? Let's face it. I mean, I think the fee will probably get done around the 40 mark, 40, 42 mil. I think that'd be a steal, because let's face it, if he had a 3 or 4 year deal, he's a top centre-half price, you know what I mean? He is quality. You know, he's got traits that I think Konate, for instance, doesn't have. I think he's a better leader than Konate. I think Konate needs a chief in command next to him, i.e. Van Dijk. I think it just fits us so well. And I don't really buy all this stuff where, the media are talking about this game time. He's going to get plenty of games. Van Dijk can't be playing every game all the time anymore. Do you know what I mean? He's not 27, 28 anymore. So I think it'd be a shrewd signing. I reckon it'd be a signing that in 2 years' time we'd go, how the fuck did we get that deal over the line without anyone really doing it? I think it'll be a top signing. And I think Slaughter knows he's onto a real winner with that one. And Marc Guéhi ain't tearing that deal down. And I also think Palace will let it. They won't be as hardball on this one. I think what we've done for them at Anfield, that'll go a long way with this.
Interesting. Good relations. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna go straight to Welshmo with the same question, and Scousemo and Ben gonna get different ones. Is either one, or have you got your eyes on someone else that you'd like to bring in? Is Marc Guéhi Premier League proven, or is there someone like Lukeba who's also been linked, or is there anyone else that you'd think? Because I'm thinking there is a stage where we're going to have to start thinking about succession planning of the big man, you know. It's scaring me.
Yeah, depends what it's for. Okay, now if it's to come into the squad and challenge Ibu and replace Verge when he's not injured and so forth, then brilliant. Marc Guéhi is a brilliant defender. His passing ability from the back, passing through the lines, is so underestimated, which is a key thing for Liverpool centre backs. Like everyone goes on about he's 6 foot, he's shit in the air. He still won like 70-80% of his aerial duels last season. So. But his passing ability and his defending is up there as one of the top. And yes, he's got Premier League proven experience. He's young. He's at that sweet age of 24 years old that everybody loves, or Liverpool love especially. If it's an Ibu replacement, then I'll be slightly gutted because Ibu's my man, and I want Ibu to stay second and everything that Scouse Mo has said. With Ibu, I think we've got more chance of winning the Champions League. If it's succession planning, a long-time Verge replacement, then yeah, fine. And we can go and get other players in the market. Luke Haber's been mentioned. I like that Zeze as well, the other French dude. But I like Guehi. I think he'd be a very, very, very good signing. Last year, Newcastle were willing to pay 75 million for him. Let's not forget that. And if we can pick him up for 35, 40 million, that's going to be a hell of a deal. And especially
it will send rival fans.
Oh, they'll lose their head.
Lunacy homes.
Heads
They
will
will
fall
go
off.
to lunacy homes, man.
Heads will literally fall off. And can you imagine like the squad depth then? You got Ibu, VVD, Guéhi, Gomez. Oh my days. I mean, even Gomez and Guéhi as a backup too will start probably 15 teams in the Premier League right now.
Oh yeah.
So that's frightening, man. Yeah. The Premier League better watch out. Like we're coming back to back.
Okay. Simple Ben. All eyes on the forward line and how we end the window. Do we end the window with a bang? I put up a poll the other day. I haven't even checked the results. And the question is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Isak, only Isak. Wait for him. Go for the second option, which I believe is Ekitike. Or is there any other name that's in your head and thinking we can do that? Because if we can't get Ekitike, he's been priced out, and Isak won't leave Champions League, Newcastle, blah, 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 wants to give them one more year. Is there a third option in your head? Or leave it. Leave it as it is.
Is difficult because I have looked at a lot of these strikers and I can't remember who it was, but I saw someone, it might have been Lewis Steele today, said that two of them, Gyökeres and Sesko, are not of interest and wouldn't really suit us. And I kind of agree with that. Obviously, you've got Isak, who's at the absolute top of, anyone's list for strikers. And then there's a big drop-off, and I mean a big drop-off. Some people say Julian Alvarez. Okay, fine, if that's, what you want. But I just can't see how we could be planning to go from Isak, who's like a big, is strong, good feet, pacey, like bagsman striker, to then something that's a bit different. I don't see how that would work. So I think it would be Isak or Ekitike for me. This is very familiar territory, Grizz, because when we were in for a certain English midfielder from Dortmund, I kept telling people, listen, we're not signing a centre mid this season. We're not signing Vitinha from Porto, or in fact, Matheus Nunes. I think people wanted him, people like that. I was like, we're going to wait and we'll be fine because Bellingham's coming, and he didn't come. So I think that's always the risk with putting your whole thing on hold. So I'm sorry to say, but I feel like if they don't get Isak this summer, we have to just go and get somebody, because I know that's not how they operate, and it's not how they have been operating. Alisson, Virgil, Wirtz, all first choice signings, got them all in. We waited, even Virgil, Klopp was being a naughty boy with him. In fact, that sounds very strange, but you know what I mean. And, we had to wait 6 months to get him when other clubs probably would have just pivoted to somebody else. So we know how we are with our first choice targets. It's just whether, I think, one, Isak's going to push for the move, and two, how much money they'd want, because they're Saudi owned, they don't need money. But those two that you mentioned, for me, I've watched a little bit of Ekitike. I feel like he's the B-Tech. No offense to people like the B-Techs. I did B-Techs. He's the B-Tech Isak for me.
It's not a bad shout.
I think obviously Isak's way up here on the scale, But in terms of profile, I think that's a similar thing. And I don't get this whole João Pedro and before he went to United Cunha thing, because if you're going to get somebody like Ekitike or Isak, it makes no sense to then go find someone that you might think's more like a creator sort of striker. That's how I see it anyway. So I don't think we're going to go from one extreme to the other. I think it will be one of those two. Hopefully the first one.
Scousemo, I know you've got something lined up in your head space. You always have. About how to deal with this front four decision. Don't give me one of those. I've been racking my brain and I don't know. I'm telling you, don't do that to me. I want an answer from you.
Yeah.
Right. What do we do up front then, man? Because this could be. I think it's pivotal. We've been brilliant in the transfer window so far, but this is it now. How do we end it? What are you doing,
bro? I think we discussed this last week as well. My views haven't changed. Getting the striker this summer for me is critical. Like this could be us signing out with a big bang. Like in my opinion, it has to be Isaac. Like he is just the perfect striker. I'm sure every single person wants Isaac in their team. He's arguably one of the best strikers in the world. Haaland's a better goal scorer, but in my opinion, I think Isaac is a better footballer, a better striker.
I'd say
Isaac, yeah, Isaac would be stupendously sensational, but it's going to be very, very difficult. So in my opinion, you don't bring in someone like Wirtz with all his creativity and then don't give him a striker to play off. Like you need to unlock Wirtz and his true potential. You need a striker for Wirtz to play off. You can see what the last couple of seasons with Bayer Leverkusen, with Boniface, with Patrick Schick. He bounces off tall players, off big strikers. He needs that. Wirtz needs that. So you don't sign someone like Wirtz and then just say, okay, Luis Diaz going to play up front.
Yeah, it won't make sense, will it? Like if you put Wirtz and then put him at Diaz when he's used to Boniface, like you said, and Patrick Schick.
And you know what? I hate Ben's points about Julian Alvarez, because in my opinion, it was always Isaac or Julian Alvarez, but they are two completely opposite football players. So you can't just pivot from one player in terms of Isaac and then just say, okay, we can't get Isaac, we're going to go for what's it called? Remind me his name. I just had this name in my head. Alvarez. Yeah. So this is, you want me to give you a definitive answer. In my opinion, if we cannot get Alexander Isaac and he doesn't push for a move this summer, me personally, I'll be going all out to get Victor Osimhen.
Same. I was hoping you say that.
Listen, at first, I wasn't really the biggest fan of the idea of Victor Osimhen coming. However, the more I think about it, he's a goal scorer, for starters. He will be able to link up very well with Wirtz, with Salah, with whoever plays on the left wing, whether that be Diaz, whether that be Gakpo, whoever it is. He's a very good link-up player. We've seen in his days at Napoli when he played with Kvaratskhelia. It was amazing. The way them two were linking up, it was fantastic. There is some reservations in terms of Osimhen. Like, is there an attitude problem there? I don't know. Why did he go Galatasaray last season? Maybe it's not a money issue because he turned down Saudi this year. Maybe that's not the concern with him. I don't know what it is. There's just something in the back of my mind that's telling me Osimhen, and then there's a red flag going off, like there's a red alarm, and I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. But in terms of the football play itself, I feel like he's going to get us goals. I feel like he's going to link up well with the team. I think he's a hard-working football player as well. He's going to press exactly what Slot wants. Maybe one negative is that he's going to go to AFCON, and Salah will go AFCON. But we've dealt with this position before in the past. Salah and Mane left to go AFCON, and we were perfectly fine. In my opinion, if we can't get Isaac, and I hope and pray that we do, and this brother, my Eritrean brother, could push for a move and say, I want to join the best football club in the world, and I want to win all the big things instead of staying with Newcastle, who might just challenge in the Champions League. That's the perfect signing. If not Alvarez, if not Osimhen, that's my opinion.
Can I add on to that?
Very quickly.
I agree. Osimhen, for me, if we can't get Isaac, okay, Isaac's number one. It makes totally business sense from a business perspective as well for Osimhen, because we can do a straight swap for Nunes and Chiesa for Osimhen. They value him at 65 million. Okay, so let's do a straight swap. Even give 5 million on top. Osimhen is always revered by the Saudi league. They want him, and eventually they will get him. So we can even keep him for a couple of seasons and still make our money back in a couple of seasons. All this nonsense about he's got a bad attitude problem. He left for Galatasaray because they took the piss out of him. They were racist to him. They made a video of him mocking him about missing a penalty. He went to Galatasaray, he scored shed loads of goals to prove he has got a good attitude. He could have broken earned more money with a goal bonus when he had a penalty last game of the season. He gave it to a defender who was, or a goalkeeper, I can't remember who it was, who was leaving Galatasaray. He went, "You are, mate, you can have it." You know, that just shows he's quite a nice lad. But I would love to have Osimhen if we can't get Isaac. I think it just makes perfect business sense.
Let me just.
You got to end it, man. You all want to talk now, man. Ben's like in Middle East over there, man. It's like 4 a.m. or something over there.
And then Ben can come in. This is the one quick point that I wanted to make about Ekiti, and I hope these rumors can just go away, because in my eyes, he is a project. He is somebody that you're gonna have to polish, and then he has to come good. In my opinion, Liverpool don't need that right now. Liverpool need plug-in
finished article.
Somebody who's a finished article, who's gonna hit the ground running, and he's gonna be scoring 20 plus goals for us in the Premier League next season as our striker, Ekitike. And I hate using this terminology because it makes me cringe a little bit. He underperformed his GA last season. It makes you cringe saying that, but it is quite a good indicator in terms of the player itself. Like, he gets himself into good positions, but he's not actually fulfilling his potential. So that shows to me that is a player that you're gonna have to polish, make sure that in a couple of years he might work out. Who does that sound like? Nunes. Why do we want to love a Nunes? Go out there and get somebody who's guaranteed goals. In my opinion, that's Isaac. If it's not Isaac, it's Alvarez. If it's not Alvarez,
100%.
Ben, you have the last say. You have the last say.
Do you want me to say? Isak?
Forwards.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I just get the feeling Liverpool aren't fully sure with Ekitike. I know the name's out there, but they could get that deal done now if they wanted it. Let's face it.
Agreed.
You know, I just think in the next 2 weeks you're going to see something change, and I think that's going to be Isak telling Newcastle he wants to go to Liverpool when he's back. He can't stay there another year, Grizz, because if he does, he misses the boat on all the top sides in Europe. There's only 2 left now, Arsenal and Liverpool, to buy a number 9.
Yeah,
I think Liverpool are playing a bit of chess. I think they want to see what Arsenal do first. Once they've done that, Liverpool have got Newcastle where they want them then, because there's only one team for them. Where's he going to go next year?
And is he ever going to get this chance again? You know,
not at all. Not at all, because Barca have got their number 9, Real Madrid have got theirs, City have got theirs, Arsenal will have theirs, and Liverpool could have theirs. So he's missed the boat. And with all due respect to Newcastle, this is Liverpool. Liverpool have got a chance to win both of them comps. They're just taking part. It's the truth. It is the truth. We're the most successful club in fucking England, and if Liverpool won them, Liverpool will get them. You know what I mean? And
we're gonna end with a Grizz bomber.
Go on.
I've been told, reliably informed, that we will make a record-breaking bid for Isak. Now, whether that's accepted or whether that's done and whether we get him, I don't know. No one knows, really. Oh, well, actually, inside people will know that it's going to get accepted because they'll have an understanding, like what kind of figure we're looking at. But I've been reliably informed. Anfield Index and the Red Room, you heard it here first. I think we will make a record-breaking bid for Isak. I've got my reservations if it will work, and that's just my opinion and my feelings, because, you know, we're Liverpool fans. We want the best, but we've been burnt and hurt so many times. But after Wirtz, the world's our oyster, people. Yeah. We are back on our perch. And if we go about things like the way we're doing it, no one can do anything about it.
We got the Nat Phillips money too, as well, no? So
we got the Nat Phillips money, baby.
Please, are we deep in this? If we do, because Isaac's going to be very complicated, and I hope that bid gets accepted and he joins us. But are we deep in it? What kind of summer we might have? Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong, potentially Marc, and then Isaac.
Well, this is what I mean.
They are fucked Newcastle. They can't go anywhere. They're going to have to take the money.
Yeah, and it's the best thing for them as well. They take the money. They can open up the floodgates for their PSR then, you know?
My only, when the guy told me, I said, why would we wait? Because that would work against us, because that would give less time for Newcastle to go out and get a replacement. And he said, well, watch out. He claims, by the way, this is from the Newcastle person. He's adamant, absolutely adamant, that Liverpool are preparing a record-breaking bid for Isak. But we have to give them time to work and get their players in, because there's no point having money in the bank because they're Champions League guys. So they're going to want to use that money and utilize that money. So I think it could be. I don't think we'll wait until the end of the window, guys. I think it will be much before the end of the window, because it has to make sense for them. We can't be just total assholes. You know what I mean?
Do you think if Newcastle end up buying a striker first in the next couple of weeks, that will be a big signal?
But
I don't think. But do you guys think it'll be one? Because Pedro's obviously been the guy.
They're after a Langer as well, aren't they? There's 100 million.
They're after a Langer as well. So look, we could be in for a mega ending.
Because they might want to get their strikers or attackers in first before they get that money. Otherwise,
of course.
If they get the money, they'll get overpriced on it.
There'll be conversations behind the scenes.
Ideal scenario. They go and sign like a TK, making their little project. We sign also. And then in 5 years down the line, when Isaac's 30, 31, we get rid of Isaac, and then we get Ekitike. It could be our little conveyor belts.
Well, listen, we've been amazing so far, and we could be amazing near the end. And we'll discuss it next week about transfer windows and winning the transfer windows, because I don't really get excited about winning transfer windows. I just like winning pots, trophies, because that's why we're the greatest club the world has ever seen. And this has been the Red Room, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Wow, record-breaking numbers. We've had over 3,000 on all platforms watching us today. So big up all of you lot across all the platforms, over 3,000 people. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And the audio podcast is going to be going out. Wherever you're watching it, wherever you're listening it, do the right thing. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, and leave a nice review on the podcast if you haven't. The dulcet tones of Dubai Ben, Scousemo, Welshmo, and Simple Ben, who had to run off. It's been a delight. I loved our chat tonight. You guys make my job so easy because you'll fucking know what you're talking about and it helps. Do you know what I mean? I hope the community enjoyed the chat. And let's just keep our eye on the Reds in the last few weeks of the window, and see if we can really make it one for the ages. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you guys are following these guys and check them out. Red or Alive, Ben, isn't it? Red or Alive.
Yeah, Red or Alive TV. Yeah.
Go and check it out, people. Go and check it out. Just type in Red or Alive and it will come up. And until next Tuesday, 8 p.m., we're going to try fix it until 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, give or take 10, 15 minutes. Over and out. Take care, people. Bye-bye.